This February, history will be made. Millions will watch as 80 years of unjust stigma is left in the past. A product that drove good people to the black market will be revealed as one that's creating a new global market. This February, what inspired the symbol of counterculture will at long last be seen as just culture. The new normal is coming. Will you be one of the first to see it? Visit medmen.com to watch an exclusive preview.
Hello, Wildcats. It's your boy, Kev. Just taking a break from watching Dark Tourist on Netflix to record this little disclaimer for you. So we are a comedy podcast, and we cover true crime and other events and cases such as murders and mysteries. And we do like to add in some dark humor and crack jokes, sometimes at inappropriate times. And we understand that some people don't like to mix comedy and crime, and that's perfectly fine. That's completely respectable and understandable. So we just want to give you a heads up about that so you don't get caught off guard and surprised by it. And alrighty, thank you everyone for listening. Be good, stay safe, and laugh at the dark stuff. Hashtag Wildman. And if I'm going to hell, I'm going to hell playing the piano.
Alright, fellas, like we practiced.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Come on down. Come on down. Hanging with the brothers tonight, yeah. Come on down to the brothers Commonplace tonight.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to The Brothers Commonplace, a comedy and crime podcast where we cover monsters, murders, mysteries, and more. And today, we have a real killer to talk about. But before we jump into our topic, let's go ahead and meet these sweet, beautiful boat boys.
What's going on, guys? This is Tim, or Farrah Fawcett, as they called me when I was a plumber.
He gave out very reasonable prices.
I usually did.
Hey, everybody, it's Toof. I'm back from the dead, and I like my condoms like I like my frogs. Ribbit.
Fuck yeah. That was good. I loved it.
That was awesome.
All right, nice.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Spence, and I'm just here to say that I think raccoons are fucking terrifying.
You're not the only one.
Dark circles around their eyes, man. Are they raccoons or are they fucking bass heads, dude? You don't know the difference.
Yeah. Nature evolved base heads long before humans did.
It's
Like a
the
crackhead?
attack of the base heads.
Like a crackhead, drug head, or mom.
Oh, man.
It's like those are the mice that they tested mascara on and then they escaped.
And it's your boy Kev, a.k.a. the Dirty Dog. And I do apologize, I'm a little sick today, so you might hear some sniffles and coughs, but I'll try and edit all that out. And I don't have a funny story or anything, but I do have something to tell you that's not really funny, but I think it'd be selfish if I didn't tell you. When I was younger, anytime I got done like taking a dump or taking a shower, I would always stand on the sink in front of the mirror naked, and I would like bend over and I'd spread my butt like Ace Ventura, and I would like make my butt say bad words. And I never told anyone about this game, but I referred to it like to myself as potty words.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really all I have to say.
Everybody deserved to know that.
So is that why you're wearing those fucking really dark surfer shades? I thought you were a rat. I didn't know you were sick.
Alrighty, rock and roll may be the work of the devil, but we aren't here to talk about the devil. Today, we are here to talk about the killer, one of the earliest and biggest rock and roll showmen of all time. Maybe some of these songs by him sound familiar to you. Whole Lot of Shakin' Going On.
Nope.
High School Confidential. Wild One. Great Balls of Fire.
Ooh.
Wildman.
That's right. Today we are talking about Jerry Lee Lewis. Sometimes he is considered and referred to as a wild man, but is he more hashtag wild man, or is he more hashtag Mel Hall of Fame?
Oh,
Fuck
shit.
yeah, dude.
Now, real quick, I do have to say, shout out to our friend on Twitter at your boy K Pet. He had the idea for the Mel Hall of Fame. He said whenever we cover like the douchiest people, we decide if they're worthy enough to be in the Mel Hall of Fame.
That's an awesome
So
idea.
that sounds like a pretty awesome idea.
It does.
Since it's on our podcast, are we excluded from it?
Oh, God.
Oh no,
Because I've already said some comments today that probably put me there.
yeah, we could probably put you and Andrew on there.
Dude, sidebar real quick.
And raccoons.
Yeah.
So, have you seen the Cavs' new slogan that's fucking sweet?
It's not one for all?
Sexton, love, and rock and roll.
Nah,
I kind of actually really like that. Did you make that up?
No, I saw it on Reddit. It's fucking so sweet.
That's awesome.
It's not like their official one, but it's like what people on the Reddit were calling it, and I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome.
That is good.
That's awesome, man.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, dude. So there's only one way to find out if he is more hashtag Wildman or more hashtag Mel Hall of Fame, and that's by covering some of the crazy shit that the killer has done throughout his career. And at the end, we can all decide, is he Wildman or Mel Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
And if you don't know who Mel Hall is, we covered him a while back.
We covered him even though he uncovered himself.
Yes, he did. He was a baseball player. He played for the Indians and the Yankees, and he moved into, like, how old was the girl?
I think she was
14 or something. And
yeah, something like that.
while being a professional baseball player, he moved into her house and, like, lived there with their family and, like, bought her love pretty much.
Yeah, with like a car and like a swimming pool and shit.
Mel Hall also covered somebody. He covered the bases when he's trying to make a steal.
Oh, all right.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Clean joke.
So Spence Fieri.
Yeah.
that made it in the last episode.
Oh, good.
Fuck yeah.
Good.
You want to hit us with the subreddit of the week?
I do. Haven't you, like, several times today already, wished that you could see a video of a goat and a rhinoceros who are friends?
Holy shit! Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, animals being bros is the subreddit for
Fuck
you.
yeah, dude. I like that.
Yeah.
Fuck, that
It's
sounds
just
good.
all kinds of video clips and stuff of good shit.
Hell yes.
Hopefully they didn't get me when I like tried being bros with animals because I might have went too far a couple times.
Oh no, that was the home video we made called "Animals Being Bang Bros." Is Bang Bros a thing still?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is
oh,
it
yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, two for no.
Oh, is it?
Hey, that's better than my fucking gardening video I made. What the fuck is it? Animal bros before gardening hose?
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
As long as those animals aren't raccoons.
That's right.
All right, and now for honorary brother of the week. And we have gotten some messages from people lately asking if they could be honorary brother. If you left us an iTunes review, we do have a list of people. So if you left us one, yours is coming up, and don't worry about it.
You just made the list.
You made the list.
Oh, yeah.
We should keep the list on, like, a website somewhere, too. That would be good.
that'd be a good
We could
idea.
do that.
No.
So we can dox them later.
Oh, we also
The
had
website's just 4chan.
we also had another idea from your boy K Pet. He said because we make so many like movie references and stuff that it's hard for everyone to get them because we throw them out quickly sometimes, and they're also from like 20 years ago
Yeah, most of them.
and like episodes of Family Matters and shit.
Yeah.
So I might start putting like shows and stuff we reference in the show notes,
Oh, yeah, that's good.
What's a show note?
like the details and stuff I put in like the iTunes and on our website.
With
and
the
stuff.
website or with the episode.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's
I
a
didn't.
text.
Yeah, I
part
gotcha.
That's a pretty good idea. I like that.
So alrighty, honorary brother of the week, Row Extreme. The title is What Can I Say? This podcast has everything that tickles your fancy. Whether you have a stick or an axe chop, this podcast will make your work week bearable. God has truly looked down on us and smiled after he gave us these amazing bros.
Oh, shit.
My new goal in life is to spread the bros until they get that white and blue check mark on Twitter.
Dude, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That was awesome.
Oh,
So-
okay, cool.
If you're listening, send us a message and we'll send you some stickers. I bought a bunch of stickers with our logo on it, and I've only sent them out to like 2 people. So if anyone ever wants them, message us and like let us know where to send it. We'll send you some stickers. I usually write a letter with it too, just because I'm stupid and I'm looking for a pen pal because I'm lonely.
He usually draws a wiener in the end.
I know.
He draws one of those fucking S's.
S's.
Yeah.
All right, you know the secret thing I do. How is this punctuation?
Looks pretty excellent.
All right, you're getting a nude picture of me.
No. Are you gonna draw it?
You know I put the pencil in my weenie like a little catheter, and I draw him a little stick figure.
Yeah, dude.
I draw him a stick figure with my stick figure.
We do all know that, guys. We do all know that. But if his punctuation wasn't good, what would he get?
A picture of my bunghole after a Taco Bell binge.
Okay.
Oh, so that's why I got that.
Alrighty, now let's jump into covering Jerry Lee Lewis, a.k.a. rock and roll's first great wild man.
And I'm sure so many people are just going to get this confused with Jerry Lewis.
Oh,
they're going to be like, he fucking did all this?
Yeah, dude. When I was Googling stuff, I did accidentally type in Jerry Lewis at first. I'm like, what the fuck? His kids are doing this shit?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is that about?
Didn't he run that TV show where like people would fight each other?
Jerry Springer. Okay, we're fucking moving on.
For a second, I was like, wait, did he do that?
I thought it was Daniel Day-Lewis, and it was like Days of New York, where the fuck that movie's called.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Is it the Gangs in New York? Yeah. Dude, that's a good movie.
Yeah, dude, Gangs in New York was a pretty cool movie, but if you're in like porno versions, Flavor Flav did one. It's called Gang Bangs on New York.
Wait, did he? No. Oh my god, dude. Oh, holy shit, I wouldn't be surprised.
So most of the biography information is from his actual website, and then when we get to a certain part later where things start to switch directions, a lot of that is taken from a Rolling Stone article. So just a heads up where we got most of this from. So here we go. Jerry Lee Lewis was born September 29th, 1935 in Faraday, Louisiana. Still alive, by the way.
Yeah, he's fucking old.
And I kind of assumed he was dead up until last year when the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view came out, because I remember hearing about his lawyers contacting the WWE in regards to it. And that's the only time I was like, holy shit, he's fucking still alive.
Dude, it sucks. They fucking stacked that card. Like, that was actually a good pay-per-view. Because they were probably like, dude, they're going to make fun of this title so fucking much. So they stacked that card like crazy.
The reason he couldn't win the lawsuit is because it had nothing to do with this song. It was just that one time that Triple H banged all the lot lizards and got fucking chlamydia in his balls.
Sonny. And a side note, the logo for that pay-per-view is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, dude, it was a dick.
It's literally just two flaming balls of fire. It's clearly a nutsack.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it was.
T-Bro, hashtag T-Bro nutsack.
Hashtag T-Bro nutsack. So, also, if you... I was looking at Jerry Lee Lewis videos on YouTube, and there's one where he's just at a WCW. I mean, he's down south. You know, they love the wrestling down there. He's at a WCW event in the second row, sitting behind Raven's flock.
Oh, dude. Fuck yes.
So Jerry Lee Lewis, he began playing the piano at age 9, and he would mimic and copy the styles of, quote, preachers and black musicians that traveled through the area. And he was just very charismatic and egocentric. When he plays, he isn't even human. Like, just watch any live video of him. He's nuts. The crowd is always completely electrified and going crazy. Crazy, much like that time, March 29th, 1987, when the fucking Hulkster, in front of 93,000 people, body slammed the 500-pound Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Or if you heard the story from Hulk Hogan, is in front of 1.7 million people, and it was a 8-foot tall, 390-pound fucking. Wait, that's lower.
and dude, and you don't have any idea how many fucking beers he drank.
That's right.
Every time the story gets told, it's more. In an interview, his sister said the first time he played piano, he just walked up to the piano and knew how to play. I mean, I don't know about that. That's a pretty badass and cool story, but I really doubt that.
Oh, so he's Paul the first time he heard Rockstar by Nickelback.
No one fucking, even in this room, knows who that is.
Wait, you know the story, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Our one friend, Brandon Burnett, who passed away, like, he would always say, like, man, literally the first time I heard Rockstar, I knew the words right after it. Like, I knew everything to it. Like, he's, like, bragging about knowing the words to fucking Rockstar.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a cool story, but I don't think you can just walk up to a piano and fucking know how to play it.
Yeah.
Anyways, his family, they're dirt poor, like super duper dirt poor. But that didn't stop them from mortgaging off the family farm in order to purchase a third-hand upright piano.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Third hand. I like
Third
that.
hand.
Usually people just call things second hand after it's been sold around.
It's because he plays so well, it's like he has a third hand.
Oh.
Nice.
That's not
Nice.
true.
I was going to
That's
make
not
it
true.
dirty.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, it was like that one fisting porno I saw. The mysterious third hand.
I thought it was going to be the piano man.
I was gonna crack a joke about like people saying that about you when you masturbate. Like you're so good at it. It's like you have a third hand.
I fucking wish I was Goro,
Well, apparently you
dude.
draw pictures while it's happening.
Dude, if I had as many arms as Goro, my arms would be just as buff because I'd be fucking doing some weird shit to myself.
And Jerry, he taught himself to play piano, and he also sang in the church choir. And at the age of 14, he had his first public performance at the grand opening of a local car dealership.
Sounds like a talented sweetheart.
And it was said that he was very entertaining and really wowed the crowd.
Nice.
And I don't know why this part really cracks me up, but on his website, here's an official quote. It's like, with little formal education, he basically gave up on school around this time to focus on his music. And it kind of like makes me think like they're interviewing. They're like, so what happened after this? He's like, well, basically gave up on school around this time. Basically.
This was around the time that he lived in an apartment complex with his neighbor Kramer.
What if like it wouldn't have panned out? Then he's just 14 with no education.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's basically just the plot from the movie Walk Hard. That's really probably where they took this from. But I'm only 14.
Damn, I'm kind of impressed. That means like literally 0.1 of a GPA separating me from becoming the next Jerry Lewis.
Oh, two.
Dude, I don't know why, but like, so some of the guys I worked with, I was bragging, like I was like, I literally passed the 1.6 GPA. Like it's like literally a D minus, like average. Like I literally finished with 21 credits, just enough to squeeze by.
Yeah,
Like,
really,
they're like,
that's
why are
probably
you
what I
bragging
did.
about this? You're like a loser. I was like, yeah, I guess. Shit.
They probably just skipped you through because like so many people in our class died. They needed to hit like a certain average.
Holy shit!
That's probably it. For real, we only had like 60-some kids that graduated.
And like what's fucked up is like, I think most of it happened right after graduation, but like we had like 60 people in our class and like 5 or 6 of them died like within like the year. And it was like heart attacks and shit too. Like shit like 18-year-old kids should not be dying of.
But it was because we were all supposed to get on that plane.
Oh fuck yeah, the Final Destination. I was gonna say, had any of you just played?
I was just going to ask.
Potty words?
Was the school painted with a bunch of lead paint or something?
It probably was.
the only reason we didn't get on the plane is because me and Kevin are afraid of snakes.
I Jesus, dude, just snakes on a plane.
Can I? Oh,
Yeah, I was just gonna go back to the joke I was gonna crack earlier. Actually, I remember the joke now, but you talking about like 18-year-olds and stuff like not supposed to have heart attacks and shit. I was like, unless they just played Polybius, but I couldn't.
Fuck yeah, dude.
speaking of planes, real quick, me and Toof, we went to Florida a couple years ago, and Toof didn't know that like being on an airplane had rules. And like we get in line, okay, we're like getting ready to like head past security and stuff, and you can only have, what is it, like 3 ounces of liquids. Toof buys these 2 fucking giant Gatorades, okay, standing in line. They're like, yeah, you can't like bring those, it's way too much. So in line, he just power chugging fucking both of these to try and drink them all. And Toof, to save money, instead of bringing like a second bag you'd have to pay for, he wore all of his clothes. And here's the thing. We left from Cleveland to Tampa.
Oh
we got
my
off the
God,
plane and he's
dude.
fucking sweating so hard.
Dude. Like how all your clothes are just fucking dirty now.
I know, dude.
Wait, did you wear all your underwear too?
I don't even know. I guess I don't remember.
Oh my god!
But hey, if
dude,
there's so many shirts on, the pit stains couldn't have made it all the way through.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
All right, where were we?
Give it time.
His family believed he was ready to be a star. However, in a compromise as to not squander Jerry Lee's musical ability and gifts to the world, she enrolled him into a Bible college in Texas so that Jerry would be learning and exclusively playing music for the Lord.
So, what's a Bible college? Is that like all they learn is like religious stuff?
I have no idea, dude.
I thought Lord was a solo act.
Holy
That
shit!
chick?
Holy shit!
Dude, there's
Wait, chick? It's fucking Randy Marsh, dude.
Oh, okay, yeah.
there's a Bible walk place right around here.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw a review of this place. I don't know why I read it. And that someone in it is like, I swear to God, like one of the wise men or someone, like it's just a wax figure of Tom Cruise that someplace threw out that they're using.
It is.
It is?
This is on. They figured this out on Reddit. Yeah.
Oh,
This place was on Reddit once. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's
I didn't see it on
fucking
there. I saw it
awesome,
on like
dude.
some review page.
No, yeah. They are old wax models. A lot of them are of celebrities that got discarded
my
from
God.
old. That this place buys up and dresses them up like Bible characters.
They
I think there's a Nick Cage in there somewhere.
I like how they chose a fucking Scientologist to put in there.
Dude, And like I remember seeing it and be like, fuck, dude, I actually want to go here. And
We
I
have
looked
to go now.
Yeah,
and
I
it
want
was
to.
like expect to take like 2 to 3 hours. I was like, fuck
Yeah,
that.
fuck
I
that, dude.
cannot for one little joke that wouldn't even be funny if
Yeah.
it was at the very end. I'd be like, I don't fucking care about this. I
No,
would
it
pull
would be-
out like
it
a
would be
fucking
funny
heat
as fuck.
lantern
We
and
should go.
fucking melt it.
Wait a minute. Do you know anyone that's been on this?
No, but I'm sure you can just leave if you're getting bored.
I know. I want to know where it's at on
No,
the
you
walk, so
can't.
we can cut through the woods to the spot.
Oh,
To the woods. It's-
holy shit.
I don't know what the
It's
fuck a
indoors.
Bible walk is.
It's indoors.
Oh my god, that's worse.
How's that worse to just
It's
be out in the
just-
middle of the woods?
At least you get to enjoy nature, not enjoy
It's
this
just
fucking
full-size
shit.
wax sculptures just set up like people dressed up.
What the fuck? This goes
In
on
Bible
for 2
scenes.
hours. What do you do? Like pray to this shit?
You know, it's probably gonna be a lot of.
Oh my god.
I'll bet you could power walk through it.
Yeah.
The power walk, the Bible walk.
I'm like, you know what? I'll pay fucking full admission. Take me to fucking Nick Cage right now.
I'm here to see Nick Cage.
I'm
I
not,
don't want to see any of your other shit.
You're like, I'm not gonna cuss in the Lord's house, but I'm sick of the bullshit. Take me to Nick Cage.
Daniel in the Lion's Den, whatever. Where's Nick Cage?
This might be
Nick Cage
deletable,
is Daniel in the
but
Lion's Den.
but Spence is like, I'm pretty sure you can leave when if you're getting bored. I was gonna be like, yeah, that's what I usually do at funerals.
Well, yeah, this is fucking boring now. See ya. They're like carrying him out. Dude,
Fuck this.
that
dude.
reminds me, this isn't funny. It happened on my way here. I stopped at a Burger King just to get a milkshake because I can only have cold shit right now because of my throat. And I pull up to the window. The lady opens the drive-thru window, and she just goes, late, I'm late. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. She's like, well, you know what they say. I'm going to be late to my funeral.
What the
And that's, I was like,
I would have fucking. Did you leave?
no, I didn't know. She didn't laugh. I didn't know if it was a joke. And I was like, oh. And she's like, then out of nowhere, she's like, want a straw? I was like, I'm getting a fucking milkshake. Yeah, I want a straw.
This all fucking happened? Like, dude, I'm afraid right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, back to this.
Wait,
All
real
right.
quick, Tim. So
No,
the last
we're not ready.
the last funeral you were bored at, was it the one that you brought 2 boards to? It's pretty much like you made the crucifixion thing.
How would anyone have gotten that joke? I thought you were gonna make
I
a
thought
chairman
through
of the
it. I
board.
thought about making a joke like that. I was
okay.
also gonna go with like pirate being made to walk the plank.
Oh, okay.
Board.
Yeah.
Group 2 board.
No.
I thought it was chairman of the board. Like he brought the DVD to the funeral.
I honestly had no idea. I had no idea.
Jerry was supposed to perform the song "My God Is Real" on the piano and in a certain way. However, Jerry Lee, the killer, played it in his own boogie-woogie rock and roll way, which then caused him to get in trouble and thrown out of Bible college. But like that could have been worse though. Like he could have, instead of playing that, he could have just played "Brick" by Ben Folds
Oh
5.
my god. Yeah, Kev loves that song, man.
I am fucking beating that dead horse with that
Oh,
joke.
yeah. We all know that Jerry Lee Lewis was known for that boogie woogie woo though.
Dude, I knew it was coming from one of us. Yeah,
That's a Juggalo joke, by
it
the way.
was. Yeah.
So let's now go to 1956. By this time, the killer, now age 21, had already been married twice, been kicked out of Bible college, wasn't making it as a salesman, and he'd been turned down by most Nashville-based record companies. So yeah, he's fucking 21, already been married twice.
Yeah.
Oh, so he lives in Tennessee now?
Yes, he moves to Tennessee to try and make it.
Oh, okay, cool.
At the age of 21, I was happy that I was able to bong a beer. This motherfucker's already been married twice.
I was like, oh, cool, look at the bottom of the Cracker Jack box. This is neat.
Kev actually just said that like right before the podcast, but
I don't know why, but the bomb the Cracker Jack box finally got a place to store my socks.
that was somebody else's prize.
However, it didn't take long for him to become a studio musician for Sun Studios in Nashville, and that would result in him recording his first single, a cover of Ray Price's Crazy Arms.
Hey, at least it wasn't a cover of his pizza and gumballs.
Crazy Eyes? I already know I'll have to put that in the fucking notes.
Yeah,
what that
I
is.
think he was just waving.
Oh, God.
Nice, nice.
Hey, Deeds, I thought we were watching Scooby-Doo.
Dude, it's fucked up how much like Steve Buscemi is the best part of movies.
Alrighty, so let's go back now and talk about his first 2 marriages real quick. Because if there's 2 things the killer loves, it's rock and roll and getting married. And also drugs and alcohol and all that other good shit.
Yeah.
So his first marriage lasted 20 months, and then they divorced. And 23 days before the divorce was final, he married his second wife.
Holy shit.
And this marriage lasted for 4 years.
Hey.
Yeah, you got there.
And he ended up having 2 children with his second wife, Jerry Lee Lewis Jr. and Ronnie Guy Lewis. That's the name. Hey, Guy.
Yeah.
This is my son, Jerry Lee Lewis Jr. Here's my other son, Guy. Fuck that. I know it's his nickname, but Ronnie's not any better.
I mean, yeah.
Only because we know a guy named Ron. That's literally.
I mean, also, you don't want to be like, what's your name? Just call me. My last name's Lewis. Like, what's your first and middle name? Ron. Guy. Like, nobody wants that, like, at all.
Hey, here comes King James. He's coming with his son. LeBron, come over here. I see you have 2 sons. What's their names? Here is my oldest son. His name is LeBron James Jr. Here's my youngest one, Phil. Like, that sucks.
Dude, no, if he's an uncle, then he's cooler than all of them.
That is true.
Yeah.
He did, I was reading Jerry Lee Lewis' autobiography, and him and his wife did have a backup name for one of their kids. And he had a cold at the time. He was going to call his son, his name was going to be Ronnie Nose.
Oh, shut up.
Dude, I hate myself so bad for finding that funny.
And it was also in 1956 at Sun Records when the $1 Million Quartet happened, that which was a recording of an impromptu jam session that included Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash.
Wow.
Carl, what the fuck is Carl Perkins?
He started a chain of restaurants later.
Holy shit, dude.
That's all he did.
When he started those restaurants, did he call it the Perkins system?
It's the Perkins system. He's talking about heavyweights.
I really thought it was something that Kendrick Perkins did. Holy shit.
We could also go with Ann Perkins.
Ann Perkins.
Chris String.
And it was also during this time as a studio musician that after the release of his first single that he began to develop his stage persona. He said he was discouraged at first because he couldn't dance around the stage strumming a guitar like Carl Perkins could. So instead he would stand up from the piano mid-song, he would kick the piano stool over, and he would just start fucking rocking around everywhere. Like, if you see a video of him playing live, he's one of the most entertaining piano players, singers, just musicians there is. The dude is fucking nuts.
It's pretty cool. I heard Mr. Perkins taught him how to do all that, and then he taught Mr. Perkins how to make mediocre breakfast. And
Oh, fuck yeah.
fucking set off his career, man.
And, I know that Jerry Lee Lewis, he would end up being like a wild man, but as long as Perkins was around, he always kept him in check by calling him Cupcake. Because on the Thunder, when it was Durant, Westbrook, and them, whenever someone was being a bitch, they'd call him Cupcake. And Perkins was on that team. Okay, that's a deep reference.
I really thought it was just straight another restaurant joke. That's why I laughed.
In 1957, the Killer pumped out some hits such as Whole Lotta Shakin' Going On and Great Balls of Fire. Whole Lotta Shakin' Going On would end up going #1 on the country and the R&B charts. And Lewis's rockabilly version of this song is ranked as the 61st greatest song of all time by Rolling Stone magazine.
The fucked up thing is if you put those song titles together, that's just my Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whenever you get me, you, and a couple of Squeeze-Its together.
I mean, usually I'm alone, but I mean, sometimes Kev comes over.
What's a Squeeze-It?
Those little Kool-Aid drinks. They have the faces on them.
The Hugs?
No, those are the barrels.
The Kool-Aid ones.
Do you Armando's?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that.
Oh, okay.
It's that, but not the poor version.
Yeah, it's like you actually,
thanks.
You had to have that extra 50 cents to buy them, and none of us fucking did.
I mean, I got the Mondos too, man.
Do you ever find yourself now buying name brand shit, and you're like, how the fuck couldn't we afford this when we were kids? It's just 10 cents more. It's not that much more expensive.
I remember the first time I got a job and I got a check, and I went to the store. I was like, what the fuck? Cereal comes in boxes now?
Like, no, dude,
That's how you knew you were pretty poor.
Oh,
if you
yeah, it was
if
in
you never
bags.
saw a fucking box of cereal, you
Yeah.
knew that you
Oh, yeah.
were just fucking poor or a juggalo.
Well, dude,
So both.
I always thought that like name brand stuff was like tens of dollars more expensive. Like hell no, dude, that's gonna be like $20 more, and then you look, it's like 30 cents more. Like what the fuck? Dude, why didn't you just buy this for me? Why'd we get cheap shit?
Hey mom, can I get some? Can I get the Easy Mac? No, Kevin, get the Simple Mac. So dumb. Okay, here we go.
Or if you're really poor, get the Simple Jack.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
And there's one show that he played during the peak of his popularity in the late 50s where Jerry Lee Lewis, known for never wanting to open for anyone, was told that he would be going on before Chuck Berry.
Oh wow.
So what does the killer do? He makes a performance that would be impossible to follow. During his closing of Great Balls of Fire, he lights the piano on fire and continues to play the song while it burns to the ground.
Holy shit.
Imagine going on stage after that.
Yeah.
How?
I mean, Chuck Berry probably could, but yeah, that's still pretty fucked up.
And here's a quote from him. I burned it to the ground, Lewis said. They forced me to do it, telling me I had to go on before Chuck. I was supposed to be the star of the show. And when they asked him how he did it, he said, I took a Coke bottle full of gasoline on stage with me. I once pushed another piano in the ocean. They tried to give me a busted piano that wouldn't play, so I pushed it off the stage, across the dance floor, out the door, and then I played it on the sidewalk and pushed it into the ocean. So the dude's just fucking wild.
Yeah.
The dude's fucking nuts.
Man.
They could have used the beginning of that quote for like a confession for the solder children case. Maybe not the piano parts, but the beginning.
Then
of
I
the word.
fucking removed the engines.
I removed all the children.
So this is when things start to get a little bit weird. So let's go to 1958. Well, Jerry Lee Lewis is now into his third marriage. This time, it's with a 13-year-old.
Oh, nice.
A 13-year-old that is also his cousin.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
That's when he earned the nickname the Mailman.
Oh yeah, he's Mel Hall in it right now.
Mailman.
How old is he at this point?
He was 22. So this went from very hashtag Wildman to
Yeah.
hashtag Mel Hall of
Yeah,
Fame
pretty
right here. Let's
quickly.
see if he can bounce
Yeah.
back.
He's leaning a lot more Billy and a lot less Rocca.
Now, sources will differ on whether it's his first or second cousin. And in an interview with Jerry's sister, she says, of course, she is her cousin, but I believe she's our second cousin. And I think that would be unusual anywhere except for in our family. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. Like,
Bitch is 13, man.
which, I mean,
The more concerning part.
I completely understand. It is only strange outside of the Jerry Lee Lewis family and also outside the family with the inbred banjo kid from Deliverance. Outside of that, it's strange. So Myra Gail Brown was her name, and she was actually the daughter of Jerry's cousin. And Jerry's cousin was also the bass player in his band.
Oh, what
so
the
it's the
fuck,
daughter
man.
of his cousin. So I really don't know what that's considered.
You would almost think like some kind of niece, but I don't really know.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I think that's considered a legal marriage.
So during the time of them getting married, the killer is 22 years old. His wife is 13. But whenever asked, she told people she was 15.
Oh, that makes it a lot
Like,
better.
that makes it way fucking
yeah.
better.
Oh yeah, this is fine. Oh, so you're not in third grade. You're in fourth grade. You're good.
Well, regardless, I still have an art project.
I know I
you
lowballed that like a lot. She's definitely at least in like ninth grade, but you know what? Who cares?
In May of 1958, he was on a British tour when a reporter was talking to Jerry and his cousin/wife, and he asked her who she was. And that's when she was like, oh, I'm his wife. And then they all asked, like, well, how old are you? And she didn't know what to say. She's like, oh, I'm 15. Like, that would make it better.
Yeah.
Now, to defend her a little bit, though, she is just a kid. She doesn't know any better. She saw, like, the star that she loved, and, yeah, she's related to him. But she's still, like, in love with this guy who's, like, this huge star. And as a kid, like, if I was related to, like, Carrot Top, and he was like, hey, Kev, you want to get married? Like, I'd probably think about it.
Another thing Kev said like right before the podcast. He's saying as a kid, but
Like, would it help? Hey, Carrot Top, would it help if I was a kid? I'm just joking. I don't even know why I said that.
It probably would, honestly.
I feel like it couldn't hurt.
Carrot
Honestly.
Top's awesome.
When you're
yeah.
when you're a kid, you don't really know good humor or good comedians yet, so you probably think he's awesome.
That's a bunch of kids listen to us.
Yeah, him or Carlos Mencia.
Oh, God.
Actually, no, kids don't even think he's awesome.
The worst thing is you realize Carrot Top's pencil dick isn't a prop.
So Myra, she was never pressed on what to say or how to respond or act. Like, she had no idea that something like this would be seen as bad as it was. And here's a quote from her. My generation was taught to hide under our desk when the bomb came, so you always had it in the back of your mind that any minute, any day, life could come to an end. What I wanted was a baby in my arms, a home, a husband, a kitchen to cook in, a yard to raise roses. My little brother was born because I begged my parents for a baby at 10 years old.
Dude, all I wanted when I was 13 was a fucking Tamagotchi. So maybe I had my priorities wrong or something. I felt like that was taking care of a
I don't
kid
know
right
if those
there.
existed back then. That might have satisfied her needs too.
It's true. Yeah, because my fucker died every single time. I would be like, oh, this is cool for like 5 minutes, and that fucker was dead.
The British media went absolutely nuts. People were outraged. They were already upset with his rock and roll devil music, and now he's marrying and banging his 13-year-old girl that's his cousin. And they ended up having to cancel the rest of the tour. And then when Jerry flew back home, his career was just completely fucked. Like, nobody wanted to hear him play. And he would have shows and nobody would get up or dance or sing. They just stared at him pissed off. But he didn't care. He still fucking rocked it like he always did.
He'd have shows where nobody would get up and dance. They just stare pissed off.
Yeah.
So, like, why did they buy a ticket?
Just, I don't
Like,
know.
they already knew they were going to be pissed off. They, like, came here on purpose to do that.
Hopefully they threw like tomatoes or something.
I'll say, yeah, it could be like a way to like they might still buy the ticket, but it's like to make sure no one else has fun to like show him.
Yeah.
It's like a form of protesting, despite the fact that you're buying a
I'm
ticket.
going to fill up your wallet
Yep.
so I can
people
look at you mean.
kind of people that go to like WWE shows right now, like they act like they don't like it, but they're still fucking paying and going.
Yeah.
But you'll hear
That's
the
true.
pricing on this,
But
too.
it's really fun to go boo Roman.
But yeah, he would still fucking rock out. He's an entertainer and a really fucking good one. And then radio stations, they started banning his songs. And they said his booking price ended up going from around $10,000 a night to like $200 or so. And that was only if he could find a bar or venue at the time that would allow him to play there. And sometimes you come across people in interviews that are trying to defend some of his actions. And they just,
Of course.
some are really weird and some are pretty gross. Like this, for example, in regards to him marrying his cousin, I saw someone who was like, well, at least he married her before he had sex with her.
Jesus, Mel, how'd you get a computer?
But yeah, the YouTube comments are always pretty good. And I understand like a lot of people are like, well, back then things were different. Like you married younger and stuff like that. But it's still, he's fucking 22. She's 13 and his fucking cousin. I
Yeah.
mean, it's still fucking weird.
I just see it as a guy who likes to take care of his family through thick or thin. What the fuck's a saying? He hasn't turned a bad favor in my eye yet.
All right. So he's still hashtag Wildman? Is he? He's
Fuck
not.
yeah, dude. Light a piano on fire, man.
No,
So-
that is fucking sweet.
No heel turn yet then.
All right. So,
Exactly.
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, guys.
Toof is waiting on the bash of the beach. Heel turn.
And it took a while for his career to take off again. However, in the late 60s and 70s, he would record several country albums. And between 1968 and 1977, he would have 17 top 10 singles on the Billboard Country chart. I probably had no idea he did any of that shit.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of other shit I had no idea that he was doing
Oh
that
yeah.
we'll talk about.
Oh yeah. I also want to say that it seems like Hulk Hogan gets like as much of our airtime as WWE in like the 80s.
Oh my god.
Like we're pretty much like making Hulkamania run wild on this shit.
Dude, I fucking hate Nick Hogan so much.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy.
I actually thought about like we should do an episode on Nick Hogan. So that's all the more we're really going to talk about in regards to his career. Now we're going to talk about some of the crazy and fucked up stuff, like stuff that's a little bit more fucked up than marrying a 13-year-old cousin. Maybe. We'll see.
Sounds like this is Project Badass shit, dude.
Oh yes.
And here's a little quote from him to lead us into the next section. I've seen so many friends and loved ones die away. I just thank God that I'm still here. During the 70s, he started drinking more and doing drugs more, oftentimes leaving him hospitalized. His mother would end up passing away in 1971. His father passed away of cancer in 1979. His tours are getting cut short. He's getting in fights with people in the crowd. He's having drug and alcohol problems. The IRS are all over him. Not once, but twice did they come over and take all of his vehicles because of non-payment on taxes.
I have a question about Jerry Lee Lewis. So,
Yes.
like, his family wanted to make it big and everything.
Yes.
I take it he did take care of them, though.
Oh, yeah, he took care of a lot of all of his family.
Oh, see? Good guy.
Especially his cousin, he took care of Jeremiah.
Shay.
All right, here we go. Let's see what else.
His cousin or, like, his third cousin? There's a difference.
Second.
And also, during the second IRS visit to his house, they found weed and cocaine in his home. So we might mention that a little bit later.
But the IRS did?
Yeah, whenever they're coming in to take all of his shit, there was like weed and cocaine and shit out.
I don't think they can actually legally do anything about it. That's like DEA stuff, right?
Well, I mean,
They just noticed it.
if they're taking stuff and it has cocaine in it and
They have
drugs
to
in it,
file
and
it or
shit.
something.
In 1976, a drunk Jerry Lee Lewis would get arrested outside the home of Elvis Presley after he had driven his car into the gate at Elvis's Graceland home.
Oh, fuck yes, dude.
He was also waving a gun around and allegedly was there to, quote, kill the king.
Holy shit.
Now, there's a lot of different versions of this story, including like the actual police arrest record, and then there's some from an interview with the killer himself. But here's one of the versions, kind of like a combination of them. Elvis had supposedly told Jerry to come visit him one morning. So Jerry drives over and the gate's closed, and he was told by the guard that Elvis was asleep. And this was all towards Elvis's like last days. Like he ends up dying like 8 or 9 months after this.
Yeah.
And at this time, Jerry, he drove up in a Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. And about 12 hours later, Jerry goes to a Memphis night spot club or a bar. I forget what it is, but it's a place called the Vapors. And then
Oh my God, imagine that now. Holy shit.
And then for some reason at 2:30 a.m., he decided to get into his car, which is a different car now. It's now a new Lincoln Continental. And he drives over to Graceland.
Wait, why is it a different car now?
I have no idea.
Does he buy cars on the fly?
I mean, he has a lot of new cars. I don't know if he's just has them.
Wow.
He might.
But for some reason, before leaving the bar, a sheriff that was there at the Vapors had given Jerry a .38 handgun and told him, since you don't have a permit for a concealed weapon, keep it on the dash so that it's not a concealed carry.
What the fuck?
Jerry states when he's outside the Graceland gates that he said in a sarcastic manner, I'm not here to bring this gun to kill Elvis, so chill out. So in some versions, they have him waving the gun where he's like, I'm here to kill the king. And then in another version, he's like, I'm not here to kill Elvis, chill out. But he still has a fucking gun.
All right. I would not mind traveling to like a universe where like he does kill Elvis just to see if people still say he's fucking alive. Like just to see, because if they're like, yeah, Elvis is alive. We have him right, he's right here.
And then Elvis says over the intercom to his guard Harold, oh, I don't want to talk to that crazy son of a bitch. Hell no, I don't want to talk to him. And then he also tells Harold to call the cops. And then when Harold tells him that he already did, Elvis says, good, when they get there, tell him to lock his butt up and throw the goddamn key away.
Nice.
And Jerry said that he was hurt by hearing this because in his story, Elvis told him to come down twice and then wouldn't let him in. And then Jerry, upset, he tried to throw this bottle of champagne into his car, thinking that the window was down, but it wasn't, so it shattered through the window, and the glass flew up and cut part of his face. So you can look up his mugshot from that night and see the cut across his nose, so that's kind of funny. And also, Jerry, he wouldn't listen to the police when they were telling him to comply and listen, and they ended up having to yank him out of the car. And Jerry tried hiding the gun that was on the dashboard between his knees, but it ended up falling onto the floorboards. And when the officer saw this, he noticed something else too. He noticed that the gun was said to be locked and loaded.
Oh, wow.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, so there's a bunch of different accounts of this and different versions, but all the charges would either get reduced or dropped. I mean, he does get brought in that night because he was drunk, waving a gun, wrecked his car into that and all that other shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those charges get dropped or taken away. And that happens a lot. Like, he would sometimes drive drunk and need to get his car towed off the side of the road, but he would never get charged with it. Like, they were just, like, considered doing a favor for him. He was always fucking drunk and doing shit and driving his car and stuff.
See, I feel like his story is like not believable at all. Like, why the fuck would Elvis have him come over just to have the gate locked and stuff? Like, is that like some kind of like, oh, haha, fucker? Like, it's not like it's funny. It's,
Exactly. That's what it is, man. He's just a good guy, dude. He's so good. The sheriff gave him a gun, or like told him how to use a gun or something.
All right.
You wouldn't give that to like some shitty guy. You don't want to give it to a cool wild man.
This is very
Yeah,
true.
he's definitely Wildman, not Mel Hall of Fame yet.
Yeah.
And this isn't the only time that a gun incident would occur. Just one minor story here. He also one time shot his bass player in the chest with a .357 Magnum. But to the killer's defense, it was his birthday, and he said that he thought it was unloaded.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so he shot his bass player, Butch Owens, aiming the gun at his chest and pulling the trigger. And this was only a few weeks before the Elvis Graceland event
This before it?
Yeah, this was a couple weeks before that happened.
I mean, shit
And he
happens.
fucking got out. Wait, did the dude live?
Yeah, the dude lives.
How the fuck did he live with
Miraculously, he
I
survived.
shot in the chest with a Magnum?
And I think he ends up like suing him and shit.
Oh, okay.
See, he gets compensation. I mean, fuck, Brandon Lee got killed on the set of The Crow, man. What happened to the guy who killed him?
I feel like that was a lot more of an accident.
I mean, accident's an accident. He didn't think it was loaded, dude.
It was blanks
They were
that killed
filming a
Brandon
movie.
Lee.
Like they.
a part of a
Don't
blank.
point a gun at people ever.
Chili Cartel. We aimed a real gun at each other.
I know. I was
Okay.
just thinking that, but we did include in the scene that CJ looked in the chamber to make sure there was nothing there.
I could have put some in there.
No, CJ looked, and CJ was the one who shot it at Andrew. No, we did employ as much safety as we could have for that.
Now, in present day, Jerry is on his 7th marriage. That's right. He's been married 7 times.
Dude, how's this guy getting laid so much?
He-
man?
he
Lucky
also-
number 11.
No, say throw some of this shit my way.
He also has 6 or 7 children. I'm really not sure how many. I've seen sometimes 6, sometimes listed as 7.
Are any of the kids like his like wives?
Let's talk about his kids real quick.
He's-
Okay,
really, Tim.
has it gone that far?
I'll say he's starting to sound like a veteran NBA player.
His second son, at the age of 3, would fall into a swimming pool and drowned.
All right.
His
Sorry.
first son, by the age of 19, would be in and out of mental hospitals and addiction wards until finally flipping his Jeep in an accident that resulted in him breaking his neck and dying.
Wow.
So that's 2 kids down.
Yeah, so 5.
I don't know about the other kids. I didn't really look at them up.
Neither did Jerry.
I think Jerry probably took pretty good care of him, actually, but I have no idea.
Except for the one.
Well, it's probably nap time for Jerry. No, I don't know. I almost drowned as a kid. Did I tell that story on here?
What saved you?
No.
I feel like you told me the story, but I don't think
Yeah,
you
when
told
I was
it.
when I was a little kid, I just for some reason I ran and like jumped into a hot tub and I couldn't reach the bottom and I was just like stuck in there until my cousin pulled me out. Hashtag Wildman.
Hashtag wild man.
By late 1971,
By your cousin, do you mean your wife?
that was good.
Thanks.
Hey, well, if I play my cards right.
Still time.
Oh, fuck, dude.
By late 1971, Jerry would find himself married a 4th time, so now we're jumping back. However, 9 years after this marriage, he would find himself going through a big divorce, and a big, big divorce at that. Her name, Jaren Elizabeth Gunn Pate, was suing him
Fuck that.
and trying to get herself a good chunk of change.
I don't know why, but that name just sounds terrifying. Fuck that.
And the IRS and the U.S. Treasury were all over Jerry, and it didn't help that drugs are found on his property either. And the taxmen, they would raid his house, taking money, cars, furniture, everything they could find. And even though coke and weed were found, the county authorities ended up only making him pay $2,000, and he didn't even have to appear in court for it.
I heard they took like everything, but they left his Creed My Own Prison CD. So
Oh, my God.
And Jerry Lewis called out to him after they were leaving. He's like, "Hey, I thought you were gonna take all my shit." And then things get even worse. His 4th wife, she was in the papers and speaking out against Jerry, saying that he would abuse her, he would drink and do drugs, and had an extremely violent temper, saying that he had choked her, beaten her up, thrown her down the stairs, and would threaten to kill her. And here's a quote from a charge compiled by her divorce lawyers. Your plaintiff would further show that approximately 1 month ago, when your plaintiff called the defendant for financial assistance for herself and the party's minor child, defendant went into a rage and stated that she should not worry about any support because, quote, You are not going to be around very long anyway, and if you don't get off my back and leave me alone, you will end up at the bottom of the lake at the farm with chains on you.
Wow.
And guess what would happen? June 8th, 1982, Jaron would be found at the bottom of a swimming pool in Memphis, dead from a mysterious accident. This was at the home of a friend, and it was just a few weeks before the divorce proceedings could be finalized.
Wow.
So sadly, her death also meant that the killer had just dodged a huge bullet because he would not be owing her all that money and anything else with the divorce now.
Like,
yeah, but her death was just an accident, right?
Yeah, it's just ruled an accident.
Okay.
like, is there any like more like
There weren't any chains, right?
No chains.
Oh, so he didn't do it?
like there's no more like details or anything like that?
Nope. It just
Wow.
ruled an accident.
Yeah, I didn't find any either.
So
Maybe she went down and touched the like suction thing at the bottom of the pool and got stuck there.
Jesus
If you
Christ, dude. I was so afraid to do that, thinking that was real.
if you sit Indian style on it, it'll actually pull your intestines out through your butthole.
Dude, I swear to God, I've heard that one too.
Jerry spent several months in 1981 almost dying after tearing a 2-inch hole in his stomach, the result of ulcers from alcohol, amphetamine, and barbiturate consumption.
Jesus.
And they told him, it was like, yeah, you got like a 50-50 chance of living. And he ended up surviving.
Go figure.
So now let's go ahead. Almost exactly 1 year after the death of his fourth wife, Jerry Lee Lewis gets married a fifth time. This time to a lovely woman named Shawn Stevens.
Will his cousin have another kid?
It's like a few days away from being a year from his last
Jesus.
wife's death.
He's like, I actually have a pretty cool anniversary coming up.
Oh my God. Well, I had a reservation that I kind of don't want to go to waste.
So I was thinking like he had all that shit happen to him, like the tear and everything, and he had a 50% chance of dying. So does that mean if he would have also got shot like 9 times, he would have had a 50% chance of dying?
Oh my God, yes.
I like that.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And most of this information comes from a Rolling Stone article. And just a heads up, nothing legally came from this in regards to what happens. Like Jerry Lee Lewis, as we said, he's still alive and he's just living life. He's married a 7th time. But here we go. And for those that were wondering, this marriage, his 5th marriage, would last 77 days.
Oh, okay, nice.
The reason that the marriage only lasted 77 days was because Shawn Stevens, his wife, would end up dying.
Wow.
That sucks. Have a marriage end like that?
Yeah.
Continue.
After an argument with Jerry, she was said to have mistook Jerry's methadone, which he was taking for an addiction to painkillers, for sleeping pills, and died of fluid in the lungs while she slept. So that is what they said. That's how she died. That's what they said.
Man.
They should just make those pill bottles like a little bit larger to read. It's fucking. They're so tiny. Like what the hell? We all got like scientific eyes and shit.
They should send it with like a magnifying glass.
Something like that. Yeah.
Scientific eyes.
They should actually. I know all my heroes at the methadone clinic will probably change that for me.
This is what he looks like right now.
Oh, shit.
Dude, for like an 80, probably 88, that's not too bad still.
Yeah. However, it seems there may be just a little bit more to the story than that. Lottie Jackson, the housekeeper at the Lewis residence, would be the one that called for medical help. As she was cleaning, she went into a guest bedroom and found the body of Shawn lying in the bed. The covers were drawn all the way up to her neck. Quote, I came in and I couldn't wake her. Her body was warm but had no pulse. Her eyes were all dilated. That's an automatic sign that her brain has died completely. I think that was from an EMT that said that one.
Yeah.
So the housekeeper goes into a guest bedroom and finds her dead in the bed. And during this time, Jerry Lee, he is still in his bedroom, which he had lined with iron bars for safety and paranoid reasons, because now he's fucking paranoid as shit. Plus he's, drug addicts and things like that get paranoid. And this was the report to the house. Quote, unconscious party at the Jerry Lee Lewis residence. That was the call. And the Mississippi Ambulance Group knew that this wasn't an uncommon thing in regards to answering to a call at the Lewis residence.
Yeah.
Because people were passed out or unconscious here many times with all the drugs, alcohol, and parties.
Absolutely.
Wait, so he moved back to Louisiana?
This is in Mississippi.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. Yeah. So he moved back from Tennessee, though.
Yeah, this is also in the 80s.
I guess, yeah. He probably does own probably a bunch of houses anyway, though.
Mm.
The EMTs are looking over Sean's body, and they notice that up on her forearm, there are a row of bruises like somebody had grabbed her hard and held her. He saw that there were little stains of dried blood on the palm of her hand as well. Lottie, she went down the hall. Lottie-dottie, I can't read that without thinking that. Lottie went down the hall, crying and completely losing it, and she knocks on the killer's door, telling him to come out. And then he comes out, and they tell him, Mr. Lewis, I'm sorry, Miss Lewis is dead. And then the EMT noticed something. There were 2 bright red scratches on the back of the killer's hand. At this time, a deputy sheriff came into the room, and a weird thing, this wasn't his area, but he said that he was out on patrol and he noticed an ambulance, so he came here. So everyone thinks that's a little suspicious.
Yeah, I don't think that's usually what happens.
And then he and Jerry went into Jerry's den alone, and they hung out in there for a little over an hour and talked about something. What it is, we have no idea. But the sheriff, he never filed a report on anything that they spoke about. So the whole thing seems pretty fishy and a little bit shisty.
Is this the same sheriff that gave him the gun?
No, I don't think so, because I think that was in
Tennessee.
Memphis. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
That's a good question, though.
They were probably just talking about like grandkids and golf and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably how he scraped his hand was golf.
Damn alligator bit my hand off. But the deputy did make a report on his arrival, and here's a part of it. See if anything sounds a little shisty to you. Upon entering a small bedroom on the east side of the residence, Mr. Lewis was bending over the bed where a white female was lying partially covered by a bedspread. She was clad in a negligee when I first arrived. Mr. Lewis's speech was heavily slurred, but he was alert and coherent. I telephoned the sheriff's office and requested a justice of the peace if the coroner could not be located and an investigator. The latter was requested because there was no visible cause of death and because Mr. Lewis's bathrobe contained apparent bloodstains and he had a cut on his wrist. So that sounds a little weird.
Yeah, it wasn't true that when he first got there that like he was bent over her. Like when he first got there, like he was just coming out of his room, right?
Well, yeah, and they said like when they came and got him, when the EMT arrived and let him know that she was dead. So whenever the actual deputy arrived is when he was like checking on her.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they said he had blood on his bathrobe. That happened because he cut his wrist on a piece of glass. But yeah, there's broken glass like all over. And they're trying to say, well, the blood on his robe is because he got cut on this, which...
Okay.
Who cuts himself, bleeds on a robe, and just like
I'm gonna
leaves
leave it
all the
on.
shit,
Yeah,
you know?
this is fine.
I mean, he's all drugged up though. He probably don't know what's going on.
And there was the blood on Sean Lewis, on her hand, on her hair, on clothes, and a bra that's in another room.
Wow.
On a lamp, in a spot on the carpet. She also had dirt on her, and the bruises on her arms and hip, and her fingernails also had what looked like dried blood under them. But none of this was in any of the reports, and none of this information would even come out until after the grand jury had decided that no crime had been committed. And another weird thing, they have only been married 77 days. It's like, why would she just be sleeping in the guest bed while Jerry's in the main bedroom?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
And it was also apparent that she hadn't been sleeping there either. Like, the whole room there is just completely, like, clean and made up, like nothing has been touched, but she's just placed in the bed.
Yeah.
Wasn't there rumors of him having extreme flatulence in his later years? I wouldn't want to sleep in that room.
Well, since he went to the vapors, it started then.
Yeah.
I was thinking those were rumors about too.
Now, there is some good news for Jerry, though. Since he's paying for it, they did manage to get an autopsy done privately, so that it wouldn't get put on public file.
Nice.
Now, here are also some accounts from Sean's family in regards to how Jerry was toward her and the rest of the family. So this is Sean's younger sister, Shelly, and she's retelling a story where she says, I went into the kitchen, says Shelly, and he yelled at me, what do you want? And I said, I just came for a couple of beers. And he started pounding his fist on the counter, screaming, are you scared of me? You should be. Why do you think they call me the killer? How'd I get that name, huh? And then he slapped my face. I was trying not to cry. I couldn't tell my father. Sean took us to a hotel there near the airport and dropped us off.
Like, basically all that seems like the end of like a horror movie where like the killer reveals himself and like thinks he's gonna kill the other person, so he's like telling them the reason why he did it all.
Yeah.
It's like, why the fuck would you ever say that to anybody?
Yeah, so we got a bunch of quotes. Here's another one. I just looked at Sean and she asked me, did he hit you hard? Did it hurt? I said, you're damn right it hurt. I said, I'm leaving. I don't care who he is. Nobody can. And then I started to cry. He can't hit me like that. And I said that I was going to the police. Sean said it wouldn't be a good idea to go to the police down there because they were with Jerry, and they'd be trying to find a way to get me for trying to cause trouble for him. So I just said I was going. I was really upset, and she said, just wait a little, Shell, because I'm leaving too. I'm not staying if you don't. I know what he'll do to me if I go back to that house. I said, get your stuff, because I'm leaving with you or without you. So, like, all this has happened, like, right after they get married.
Yeah.
I mean, they've only been together they've only were married for a couple of months.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And then this is after an event where Jerry grabbed her and threw her across the room. And Sean was whimpering, you're so mean. What's wrong with you? She was sunk down into the big brown chair. He picked up a set of keys and whipped them at her, hit her in the forehead. She bent down to get the keys, and she told him, I'm leaving with Shell. I'm not staying here with you. So he tells her, I'll show you leaving. He grabs her by the front of her robe, and he hauls her off down the hall, and he says, you're my wife. I'll kill you before you leave me.
Yeah, he's getting a lot more Mel Hall.
Yeah, a lot more hashtag Mel Hall of Fame now.
Yeah, he's getting in there.
He might be getting there, yeah.
And there were also reports, according to two girls, that they were picked up by Jerry just 3 nights before the death of Sean, and they were brought back to have group sex with him and her. But Sean, she didn't like that. She wasn't into that. And this led to an argument between the couple. And then the two girls, they ended up running out of the house and over to a neighbor's asking if they could take them back to Memphis. So something happened that was scary enough to make these two girls run out of the house.
Jesus.
And then later, when asked about this event, the neighbor, he quickly got angry, and he denied anything like this ever happening, even though in the years leading up to these events, he was constantly calling and complaining about Jerry. So some people believe maybe he was paid, or maybe he was, because like all you do is call and you complain about this guy, and now you're getting pissed off when asked about it.
I mean, how much money does this guy still have to be paying off like police and neighbors and everybody?
I was wondering that. It's probably a shit ton, honestly.
Yeah, I guess Mel Hall still had a lot, too.
Because, like, even back then, like, they didn't have too much electronics or anything to spend money on, and they probably weren't smart enough to put it in stock, so it's just cars and houses and guns.
Yeah, I guess.
Hookers, blow.
Yeah.
And I guess the killer, he was a big fan of the group sex, and he would constantly try to get both Sean and Shelly to get it on with him. Like, they're sisters, you know? That's
I mean, might as well try. I mean, you never know what they're going to say.
Now this is in regards to a phone call between Sean and her mother, and this is about a fight that she had with Jerry. And she says, well, there may be things you didn't know about, her mother said. Maybe she was making him mad somehow. There's 2 sides to everything.
Oh, dear God.
One night when you're over here, we'll call her together and we'll talk about it. But before they made that call, Sean wakened her mother with a phone call at 3:30 a.m. August 23rd. So they're like, yeah, she's calling and stuff, but maybe maybe it's not as bad as it sounds or something. So she wanted to give Jerry the benefit of the doubt. It sounds like. I'm
Would you
guessing.
fucking pay them too?
But yeah, so Sean calls her mother at 3:30 a.m. August 23rd. She said, I'm leaving him, her mother recalls, if and when I can get away from him. I said, Sean, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Call me tomorrow. She said,
Can wait.
I don't know if I can. Whatever you do, make sure nobody calls for me here. Honey, call me tomorrow, okay? I don't know if I can, but I'll be in touch, Mom. Okay, talk to you later.
Fuck that mom, dude.
And
Yeah,
then,
it's kind of a shit mom.
Jesus.
And then the next day, Sean was dead.
Holy shit, dude. I hope her mom felt really bad.
Yeah, like if that's if Kevin called me, he's like, dude, I got fucking diarrhea and I'm shitting super bad. Like, you feeling okay, Bubby? And he's like, dude, it's really fucking bad. We're out of toilet paper. I'm like, I work first shift tomorrow, but I'll swing by and drop you some TP off, man. And that's for that, dude. Not hey, I think my husband might be beating me and killing me. It's like, just sleep on it. You're probably just crazy.
Yeah. Dude, actually, I'm going to throw this out there. I think the mom should also be in the Mel Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's pretty
Let's
shitty.
throw that bitch in there, too.
Yeah. She sounds like the girl, Mel Hall girl parents, too.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, go ahead, fuck our daughter.
Yeah.
Very
Wait
similar.
a minute, probably that. Because she's
Very
probably
similar.
she's like happy that her daughter is dating one of the, at the time,
Married to the
top
celebrity.
10 most popular musicians of all time.
Yeah,
right,
that's
at the
what
time?
I'm saying. He probably fucking gave them some money or something, or
Right.
like they thought he was going to.
No, absolutely.
And after that call, Sean made another call. This time she called the sister of a man named Scott, a man that she once dated and dreamed of marrying. However, because of Scott's strict parents, they never allowed him to marry her. So this is like her crush. She planned on marrying him, but his parents wouldn't let her. So she's like, well, I'm with Jerry now, but I really want to leave him and maybe make it work with Scott. In Michigan, Scott's sister was awakened by a call from Sean, who asked about Scott, and she asked, does he still love me? And then she asked Scott's sister to meet her alone at Jerry Lee's August 28th concert that was in Nashville, Michigan, I think, actually. And then Sean asked her about 7 times, you're going to come now, aren't you? And she said she'll call back the next day to make sure about the meeting. And then she was in mid-sentence when the phone went dead.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty fucking crazy. So, I mean, if all this is true, this is all, like we said, from a Rolling Stone article in regards to people that have come forward and said all this stuff. I mean, like, he's not charged for any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't even think a lot of people really know a lot of this happened, honestly. So, yeah, this is super fucking crazy.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, the reason of death listed on the autopsy is, like, no foul play. It's pulmonary edema, which is fluid in the lungs, due to causes unknown, which is consistent with a drug overdose. And now also the autopsy didn't list anything in regards to the bruises or blood or anything like that. But they did give a reason as to why there was blood on Sean and Jerry. And this is what a sheriff said he believed. Jerry Lee had cut his finger on some glass, and that this was probably responsible for the blood on Sean Lewis's hand. The bruises were described by the sheriff as superficial, the kind that anybody might have. She had been up during the day, which noted the sheriff an explanation of how she might have lain down on a neat bed. And then he noted that there was nothing to indicate that anybody had been attacked. There were no marks of any violence.
The fucking bruises are marks of violence. So is the dry blood.
Yeah, doesn't that just piss you off?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh, so if I die and right before I die, bump my pinky toe in the corner of my bed, you guys are gonna say I was fucking brutally murdered? Because that's about the equivalent.
Depends. I guess it depends on the cause of your death.
And here's a quote from the mortician. I'd never say Jerry Lee killed that girl. It might be as innocent as a train wreck, but I'd like to see it investigated. I just can't believe that girl would just lay down and die. And it was Danny, this mortician, that was the first to report all the blood, bruising, broken fingernails, and all the other damages that were on her body. And he got a lot of shit. Like, his family got a lot of shit for him reporting that.
Wow.
And I think they tried to, like, bury it and hide it, so.
Yep.
Jesus.
But yeah, there's a lot more information in regards to some of the stuff he's done, all this crazy shit. It's really good. That Rolling Stone article is really good. It's a really good read. And yeah, the allegation that the killer had anything to do with her death, it's never been verified. Like, it's never been considered an actual crime. It was just she died by, like, an overdose.
So, like, they said that she accidentally took those pills.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Have any of you ever accidentally taken a different pill than the pill you were trying to take?
I don't know, but I had to wait 4 hours after.
Oh my God, just Viagra? Like, I mean, I honestly could say I've never accidentally taken a pill.
But, like, how does she get covered in dirt, blood,
Yeah.
scratches,
I mean-
and then, unless she fucking took those pills, went on MXC, and then came home and slept in the guest bedroom, you know?
I mean, obviously all that too, but even just down to that, I mean, I know you couldn't, like, prove it, but even that sounds, like, pretty, like, fishy. Like,
What? Oh, go ahead.
Maybe she was out gardening with some bramble bushes. She got dirt
It's-
and scratches.
I mean, it's possible.
Was it she's also a drug addict?
I don't
Because
think-
maybe she got a couple methadones to take and she was going to take some sleeping pills with it to go to sleep, but she just took like 5 methadones and then 5 more methadones instead of 5 more sleeping pills.
I'm not positive. I think they might have only found marijuana in her system. Maybe some alcohol, too.
Well,
but
that's why she died. Damn, that shit's poisonous.
Yeah.
But I think that might have
The
been
devil's weed.
all they found. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember. So that was his 5th marriage, and Jerry would end up marrying 2 more times. His 6th marriage lasted 21 years, and he is currently in his 7th marriage that began in 2012.
What happened to the 6th marriage? They just mutually parted ways?
I'm not quite sure. But yeah, there's so much more to this dude. So whether you think he's innocent or guilty, the guy was a wild dude, and he also kind of appears to be a piece of shit and a cousin fucker. But he's one of the best entertainers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
there. So all's forgiven. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Damn it, dude.
So what do you guys think? Hashtag Wildman, hashtag Male Hall of Fame, or both?
Fuck, you gotta kind of go with both.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take away like his accomplishments when it comes to music and stuff like that. That's kind of like going back to like Chris Benoit. I mean, I don't take away the stuff.
OJ.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take away the stuff that Chris Benoit did in the ring. But I mean, it kind of does, put him in the Mel Hall of Fame for the shit that he did.
But that was
outside the ring.
proven, though, man. They didn't prove this. This is just like Bigfoot. There's no proof that Bigfoot.
It's just like Bigfoot.
There's no proof that Bigfoot doesn't exist. There's only
Well,
proof
not
that
if
he
you
does.
believe those bogus accounts.
Exactly.
I'm going.
Bigfoot exists, right, Kev?
We have no way of knowing, Jeremiah.
See, Kev's on my side now.
All right, I'm going with both. I say both.
Yeah, I mean, first half, definitely hashtag Wildman, but I think it is a little weird that 2 of his wives have mysteriously died. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if he did or didn't. I mean, this could all just be fabricated. I don't want to say that and offend anyone, but I mean, I don't know. Only Jerry Lee Lewis knows.
Yeah.
You guys are.
I mean, he still fucked his 13-year-old cousin and married her,
I mean,
so that's pretty fucked
I would say
up.
that's pretty.
Okay, that's Mel Hall fame.
Yeah, Mel Hall. Yeah.
But you guys are pissing me off because if he wanted to kill these women, then why did he love them and marry them in the first place? He didn't have to marry them. No one forced him to do that.
Because he's crazy.
Going back to Benoit and fucking OJ. Those are proven, and they killed their wives.
No spouse murder has ever happened.
It doesn't make any sense to me, goddammit.
Alrighty, before I end the show with a quote, is there anything about Jerry Lee Lewis you want to mention? Any thoughts or anything? Toof just farted. You've been hanging out the vapors, Jeremiah? God made the animals. Love them, don't kill them. When he finds bugs inside his house, he doesn't squash them. He picks them up and carefully places them outside. Whatever his childhood nickname, and however much he has tried to intimidate people to protect himself over the years, the killer is an unlikely killer. That's from a different Rolling Stone article.
No, I bet. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because there's like that Rolling Stone article where the guy is like, you fucking
He
killed
did
her.
it, yeah.
And then you got other ones that completely omit this event ever happening. Like there's a lot of stuff you read his biographies on some places. They're just like his 4th and 5th wives mysteriously passed away or died of an overdose. They completely skip over a lot of shit.
Jesus.
But alrighty, that's everything we have on the killer Jerry Lee Lewis. Spence, you want to hit us with our closing shit, brother?
All right, you brother tots. Thanks for listening to this episode. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do so. You can follow us on social media. We have a Facebook. We have a Twitter. Talk to us there. Leave us some feedback. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like. Give us some suggestions. Give us some ideas for new things to cover. And if you really want to help the podcast, you can share it with your friends. Spread the news. Let everybody know about the Brothers Commonplace. And you can leave us a review. Leave us a rating. That is extremely helpful, especially those 5-star reviews on iTunes. And if you do so and send us a little note letting us know that you did, you will become a new honorary brother. You can contact us on either of our social media pages and also through brotherscommonplace@gmail.com. You can check out our episodes on the Murderly Network, or you can just go straight to it with brotherscommon.place.
And special thanks to everyone out there that has already left us an iTunes review. And if you haven't yet, if you would leave us one, that would mean the absolute world to us, and we'll make you an honorary brother. We do have a list, and we're going through them. And, yeah, you guys have been super awesome. If you want stickers, send us a message and let us know where to send them, and we will mail some out to you.
So I have a confession to make, and I actually should probably just be kicked off the podcast for this. But the whole time while Spence was doing the closing stuff and Kevin was talking, I was trying to think of a scene that Toof and I can do from the movie Dumb and Dumber. And I also could not think of one because I don't fucking remember anything from that. So I guess that one's kind of funny. Doesn't that Bob Saget? Yeah. So I guess like let the viewers, if any of you have even seen that movie, you guys pick a scene. Me and Toof will do it. So I'm gonna guess we're not gonna get a request this week, but we didn't last week either, so it's not gonna change much.
Which is better, Dumb and Dumber or Dumb and Dumber 2?
Dumb and Dumber 2.
Dude, you guys should do the scene for real, where you're outside the window and you're giving them information on what to say. How could I forget those hairy nipples?
Yeah, that actually is pretty good. We should do that one. That's a good one.
All right, Toof, I want you to bring it all around and close the show down with some words of wisdom.
All right, guys. I know that me and Andrew haven't been on the pod in a while. It's because we've been filming our own porn shit to give onto these weird ass porn sites, and me and Andrew like to role play, so we dress up as cops and we wear body cams now, and we pull people over and shit. And when we pull them over, we're like, either you have to listen to our podcast right now, or we're gonna arrest you and fuck you. We never get laid, so it's always that's probably how we get at least half of our new viewers. And we make sure they rate and review too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's the good kind of police
It's either
brutality.
5 stars or 5 years. Which one do you want? And we've been uploading these sites, and they fucking love it. And they even gave us our own little like subsection of like cop brother commonplace force porn videos, and it's called Dick It or Ticket.
Holy shit, dude, I love that that's the end it was going to. I love it.
Alrighty, thank you everyone for listening. Be good.
Stay safe.
And laugh at the dark stuff. Hashtag Wildman.
Hashtag Wildman.
Hashtag Funyuns.
Hashtag he's a wild man and a Mel Hall of Famer.
Alright. Hashtag thank you, Mark.
Hashtag Mark is an attractive male.
Hashtag raccoon lives don't matter.
Oh, that's how we
to
shut
end
it down.
Good
All
way
right.
to end it.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Old moon, yeah. That's Hugo, tickling the ivories. He just saved by bundling home and auto with Progressive. Gonna finally buy a ring for that gal of yours, Hugo? Send her my condolences. Hi-oh! This next one's for you two. There's a burglar in my heart. Thank you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
It's time to break the cycle of waste and mess. Time to stop accepting that the way things have been done are the way they should be done. Control-Alt-Delete everything you thought you knew about how to period. We're flipping the script, we're throwing out the book, we're challenging the period status quo. The Diva Cup is eco-friendly, reusable, and offers up to 12 hours leak-free protection. So what are you waiting for? Join the inner revolution with the Diva Cup. The Diva Cup is used for menstrual flow only. Always read and follow the user guide.